Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Clover, and in today's video we are going to be doing our full detailed breakdown on our new set, our Enchanted Encounter 5-star set that we got from the most recent light chase, or I always say light chase, but the most recent banner in Infinity Nikki. I'm going to kind of break down the outfits that I have, which is the first outfit, the evolution, and the glow up version. I'm going to take a look at all of those 3 different outfits, show you how they dye, how some of the pieces work with other sets, and also I can even show you a few of the fairy sets that I've created so far with the update. So let's go ahead and do that right now without further ado. So of course, starting out with the set, we do have the base outfit. Of course, you can see I've already dyed the wings, so they're kind of like already they're already going to be outside of our default color, but I can just go ahead and do them in their normal color. So there we go. Now we have them in their default color. I'm going to go ahead and go and take off all of our pieces of the set so I can just kind of show each and every piece on its own separately. So this is the base hair. This is really cute in my opinion. It's a really fun and cute hair. It's very doll-like. I don't know how like versatile it is. It reminds me heavily of our Timeless Melody hair. But of course this one is a lot shorter and a lot springier, if that makes sense. Like this one, they do both have like the same kind of ringlet pattern somewhat, but this one is way longer than Timeless Melody, which can be a plus, but I kind of like the styling of the Timeless Melody one a little better. But this bun is really pretty. I think this one almost looks too bulky. Like this Timeless Melody feels a little bit more neat, a little bit more together, but again, it's like, it's a 5-star hair, and Timeless Melody was kind of a smaller hair in terms of kind of the grand, it's not a very grand hair in comparison to something like the hair from the Snowy Ballad set. You can see this one's just a lot more grand than honestly both of these 2 hairs, but I still think that this hair is really cute and it's a really great piece. I'm going to kind of try on our dress now. So this is our dress, our Hope's Embrace dress. This dress is huge. It is gigantic. We've seen it kind of compared to our swan dress. It's a big, big, big dress. It's probably the biggest dress we have currently in the game. Just in sheer like volume. Like, yeah, this one may have like a little bit more, but this is just a lot of dress. It's very much a big dress, and I think a lot of hairs look great with it. These are kind of just some of the hairs that I have on my account, just flipping through them. It's a big impactful dress, so to speak. If you want this dress, you want this dress, and it's interesting. We're going to take a look at kind of the amount of areas in which we can dye it in a second, but it looks really cute with this with the birthday Nikki hair. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the dyes in a little bit, but that was the dress. I'm going to now take the dress off so we can see the tights from the outfit. Let's see, let's go ahead and take the dress off. Yes, so here are kind of the under layers of the dress. So of course we do have the hat, which is a major little piece. I can show again what the hat looks like without the other little pieces. It looks pretty cute with some other hairs. I love this hair from the previous shop set. And we have some other hairs, you know, you can see how they kind of will go up into it, depending on the look. But then of course we have the wings right back here as well. Then we have these little wrist pieces that are very pretty. I like them a lot. And we have the little socks. And then we have another pair of like stripper heels, so to speak. These heels are very funny. They remind me a lot of the Timeless Melody heels. They're pretty much the same kind of mold in terms of the shoe, but this one has some more frills on it. These look like pleasers. I don't know if that was like what they were going for, but they give me like heavy pleaser vibes, which is funny. But this is kind of like how it would look if you kind of switched up the dress. How all of these like inner pieces work with like the swan dress, or with the Wishful Arosa set, or this Mischievous Bunny set. Here's how it looks with the 5-star. Here's how it looks with our Starcy dress. Looks really pretty. I mean, obviously you can fix the dyes and kind of get everything to work a little bit nicer, but this is how it looks like. Love the Rosa dress, so pretty. We have a bunch of these. We of course have it with like some of these dresses. some with the 4-star, the most recent 5-star. Like again, these pieces all look really cute with a whole lot of different outfits and a whole lot of different hair pieces. For me though, the dress is just not my favorite. I know I'll be able to make the dress work for an outfit, but I don't know. I think the hat is actually kind of growing on me. I feel like I wasn't a huge fan of it at first, but I kind of do like the hair. And then the hat, but let's go ahead and take the hat off really quick because it's kind of distracting us from the wings. So let's take a look at these wings. Here's kind of what they look like with some different hairs as well, if you wanted to know maybe what it would look like with a few different hairs. As you can see, hairs do like clip into it, but the hair from the set clips into it. Like this is the hair from the glow up. Not the glow up, that's the hair from the evolution, but this is the hair from the base set, and it does like clip into the wings itself. So something like Timeless Melody like doesn't even clip with the wings, which is kind of cute. So maybe that hair like works even better if you don't like the clipping effect, which I don't actually mind the clipping. Like it doesn't really bother me. But obviously you will only be seeing Nikki from like the back if you play mostly in game, if you're not just in the wardrobe. So here's kind of what a few different ones of those hairs look like with the wings. A lot of them look really cute still. I actually really love this hair with the wings because it's kind of like brought into the face. But that one's really cute. Let's go ahead and put our set back on because we're going to take a look at the dyeing now. Of course, we're going to start basically by looking. Oh, we have the sleeve accessories as well. No, the sleeves come with the dress. Yeah, I think the sleeves come with the dress. Yes. Yes, the sleeves are attached with the dress. So let's go ahead and jump into our dyeing feature really quick and see how this dress dyes. I'm gonna just take something off of I think if I take something off of the outfit, she will stop doing the animation. I don't know. Let's go ahead and dye. There we go. Let's hit dye. So of course we have 12 areas to dye with this dress. So if you go to select all, this is kind of what it's able to dye in some of these free palette colors, of course. It looks really pretty in this like chocolatey brown color. Obviously, you can like dye specific individual slots as well, just to make sure like you're covered. Ooh, it looks really pretty in this blue color. You don't even need the evolution, I feel like. This is honestly even like a prettier color than the evolution is. But you have some options with the blues and the purples. Here's what it looks like with some of those darker colors. Looks really pretty. It dyes very nicely. Like, ooh, like it looks really pretty in this like deep red. And of course you can figure out like the ways in which to dye certain sections, other colors to kind of get some different effects with it. But I just want to show you like how the opacity is in these colors. If there's any specific color you wanted to dye this dress, you could make this a like Beauty and the Beast inspired dress. I could see that working with like how well the yellow kind of dyes into it. Because I love Beauty and the Beast, and obviously like I always want to like this could be a great Cinderella dress as well because you could dye it like a blue color. I mean the evolution is blue, so here is it in some of these browns. Looks really pretty in this kind of like burnt orangey kind of coppery brown. Here's it in like a really opaque red. We have it in orange, orange, orange. You have it in green, some other greens. Still pretty in the greens, honestly. I like it in this little green color. We have like a deep, deep, deep forest green, emerald greens, some other greens. Here's some minty colors. We of course have our reds, We of course have some like magenta pinks, some other pinks that are nice as well. These are nice colors. We have these. These are all, again, additional unlocks. You need the first evolution, I'm pretty sure, for these as well. I think starting with number 10 or 11, you need the first evolution. So anytime it doesn't have these two, I'm pretty sure that's what that means. So you need the first evolution to get those, which will require you to do 180 pulls and to complete the entire outfit to get the evolution. So we have some other colors like this. These are really pretty in my opinion. I still like these. Of course, we have these. Of course, it dyes all white pretty nicely. Looks pretty great in all white. I like it in all white. If you're looking for more of like a wedding dress, this is definitely like a wedding dress vibe. Looks pretty great in all white. And then again, if you're trying to go all the way to the second evolution, here's kind of the colors that you are able to get with the second evolution, and that will require you to, of course, get to like 230 pulls instead of just 180 for that first evolution. We have some purples here, some more purples, just a lot of purple actually. And then of course you have black. Yes, so this requires just evolution 2, so you can get black, but of course black doesn't seem to die like the best out of all these kind of colors, but it still dies pretty nicely in the black. And then of course, after you reach evolution 3, you will unlock all other palettes and then the color wheel option, which the color wheel will allow you to choose like any color you want for the dyeing of the outfit. But that looks good, and you might unlock some additional areas as well, but I'm not able to kind of show that because I don't have that unlocked. So we have the dress, so that's kind of the dyeable areas for our dress. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this hair. So our hair, of course, has some great dye options, I think, for the base hair at least. Let me take off the hat because it's kind of distracting. Let's just take off the hat for right now, get back to this hair, and also take off the wings. It's also kind of hard to see it with the wings on. Let's take the wings off. There we go. I think we might just take the dress off too. There we go. Let's just get into the hair. So here's our hair, of course, and we have a whole lot of palettes as well that we have. So here's with the free palettes, and then all of these. I'm just going to rapid fire them. Free. Here's these, if you want to like pause on any specific ones. Overall, I think the hair dyes pretty nicely in the base color. I mean, you know, obviously you can fix the glossiness to kind of have it look a little bit better. But there's kind of what it looks like. Ooh, pretty, and like, I love the orange. Here's these. Again, I feel like Infinity Nikki needs to add just like a natural hair palette, because like this blonde is kind of blonde, but it's also kind of yellow. Like this is very, in game, this looks yellow. Like when you go into the open world, it doesn't look like that. Here's some greens, here's some more. Yeah, there's like a whole lot of options. Again, now we're into some of the ones that will require you to get 160, 180 pulls with the second evolution. And of course the palettes are a little different. You get access to black if you get the second evolution in the hair, but not with the dress, which is always strange. So it does dye black quite nicely, and you can of course adjust the glossiness as you like, or keep it really glossy, depending on like your preference, you know. And then of course, if you reach the second evolution, you can get access to the pink palettes, some of these blues, and access to some more pinks, a lot more pink. A lot of pink is, with the hairs, is locked behind second evolution. Ooh, this is a pretty color. But yes, pretty good on the hair. And now that we've done the hair, let's go ahead and take a look at these hat. Doo-doo-doo. Where's our little hat? There's the hat. It's a big piece. It's making me zoom into it. So here's what the hat looks like dyed with all the colors. So as you can see, there's some like undyeable pieces, or pieces that seem to not dye the best. Mainly this little token right here in the middle seems to be undyeable. There's like a gem right here in the middle. So keep that in mind if you're like trying to do specific looks for it. It does dye with certain colors, but they have to be pretty opaque. So here's some of our other palettes. And of course, this is just how the hat takes like the full dye. But if you actually want to like customize how the item is going to look, you can go in and like actually customize it so it's not just like opaque, you know, just one color. That kind of looks crazy. But here's some of the options. Of course, you do get the pink palette with the set, but not with the hair. Like you get it with the outfit pieces, but not the hair, which is very strange. I don't understand why we don't have just standardized across both. But I'm glad that they do give access to the black, you know, palette. But I noticed that Life Makeover locks black and white also, behind like the paywall. Ooh, this hat looks, I was gonna say pretty and white, but it's giving something else. Crazy. But that was the hat. And now that we've done the hat and the hair, I'm going to take both of those off because we're going to get into these wings. I know that I've already given us a little bit of a detailed breakdown on the wings, but I want to make sure that I'm giving another little detailed just in this breakdown. of how these wings dye. So these are our base wings, our Birth of Miracle wings. And I think I already have them dyed currently. Oh yeah, no, they're not dyed currently. But you only get one area if you do not have the final evolution. I think you get a second area with the second evolution. So with just the first evolution, you don't get anything. And of course, you can't dye special effects until you've reached third evolution status. But here is how it kind of dies. And I can just kind of change the time of the day as well. I'll make it like afternoon. I feel like maybe it's a little easier. No, I'll keep it daytime. Let's keep it standardized. But you have a lot of options for dyes on these, but of course the effects are going to kind of stay the same. So it's like, yeah, this looks pretty, but you do get the pink kind of going in the background. So we have this blues, kind of goes all the way to violet. I would say that overall that these wings do dye better than the Flutterstorm wings, or the Blooming Dreams, whichever one that set is. Overall, it does dye a little bit better, but the downside is that it's not the special effects. There's a lot more effects on these wings, and you cannot dye those until you have the third evolution, which requires around 390 to 400 pulls, depending on luck. Yeah, I've dyed these green already because I think they do look really pretty in green. So we have all of these palettes, and of course, if you want the second evolution, again, you are going to need to do 180 pulls. These are some of the palettes you unlock with that. And of course, you do unlock the white, which the white wings do dye pretty nicely. And if you do want black wings, they don't dye as nicely. They don't. And here's some of the other kind of ones that you can unlock if you go all the way to the second evolution. Love this pink color specifically. It's very pretty. But yes, that was the wings dyed. I'm going to quickly go over these gloves as well. Let's see. Okay. Select all. I feel like the gloves is not what people are really here for. I'll just show the kind of options with the gloves. They dye pretty nicely, which is always great to see. You know, they dye pretty nicely. I think these gloves are actually like quite underrated though, to be honest. I actually like the gloves. And then where are the socks? I feel like I'm supposed to have socks on. Let's take off this dress. Yes, let's go check out the socks. So of course you can dye them a bunch of different colors. And the socks dye pretty nicely as well. I like these socks. I think they're actually cool. I have them dyed, I'm pretty sure. But yes, we have some blues in there. Blues, we have some of these. We have, of course, you can just get them in white, but it doesn't seem to dye perfectly in the white. There's still hints of some other colors in there, which is something to note. You know, the Infinity Nikki's dyeing system, I feel like we've all just kind of realized it's not a perfect system. But overall, I'm still pretty happy with the things that we can do with it. And finally, let's like take a look at these little shoes. So we have all of the shoes. We can of course dye them pretty much any color we want. They don't dye the nicest compared to other pieces of the outfit. That pink kind of stays around, so that's just something to note. These shoes are not the best for dyeing, unless you want them to be like different shades of pink, and then in that case you will be happy. But yes, they do this, and they do kind of go white, but obviously there's a little pink tint to it, but they look great still. But yes, that was the shoes from the set. So that was our full base outfit dyed. And of course you cannot dye this wand. This wand is not dyeable. That is not able to be done. And now we have our second evolution, which is right here. Ooh. Meeting in the snow. Yes, so this is our meeting in the snow outfit. I don't know why it's not changing our hair. I might need to just get out of the dyeing system. Because I don't know why our hair is not going. There we go. Okay. Yes, this is the full outfit. And we of course have the different pieces to it. Of course, we have the blue hair that goes with it. We have the nice blue wings. We have the dress. We have the tights. We have the socks. This is just blue. We can go ahead and take a look at the dyes to see if there's any differences in the way that things dye. So does the hair dye differently because there is a gradient? Of course it does. You will get a little bit of a gradient effect, which I actually find with this one is actually quite pretty. Usually the gradient kind of is weird, but I find that the gradient with this one is quite nice. Kind of pretty with some of the colors, you know, there's some niceness to the gradients. And as you can see, you have some gradients here, some purples. You, of course, when you go black, it will pretty much dye it fully black. But when you go brown, it kind of still will have some little highlights, which I actually find to be quite pretty on this hair. It's unique, which is nice to have. And then, of course, if you want to keep going to the second evolution, here are some of the highlights from that. Of course, you can kind of dye it white, but it doesn't really do it because it's got the gradient. So that was the hair. And let's take a look at how the dress dyes with the glow up. I mean, with the second evolution. So of course it kind of dyes the exact same as the base dress, but probably certain colors will show up nicer. See what it seems to have a little bit more green and like red hues in the little shine marks. So, you know, something to note. Certain colors will kind of clash with it. Looks really pretty in these pink colors. Here it is in some other colors. Here's some blues. It's a blue dress, so it actually looks really nice when it's like fully blue. And we of course have more pink. And of course we can also do white with this one, but it seems to not dye as nicely as the base dress in white. And then let's see how this one dyes in black. So again, this one actually dyed a little bit nicer, I think, than the base dress. But as you can see, there are some like undyeable regions in here. And things. So if you wanted it like black, you would have to note that. And then let's take a look at these wings. The wings is something that is really nice to note because they're wings. We want to see how they dye. I have mine currently dyed, I think. So I'm going to just undye them really quick. Let's see. Okay. So you can, of course, it's still just 2 areas. I'm going to take off the hat really quick because it's a distraction. And let's go into these wings. I'm going to take off the hair as well so we can just see what it looks like. There we go. And I'm going to put her in a like neutral dress. Let's just take a look at what these wings look like. So of course you can dye them in some of these free palettes, but I find that the blue wings don't dye as nice as the pink ones. As you can see, there's just so much more blue in these that just is not able to be dyed out of the wings. Let's see. And something to remember when dyeing for Infinity Nikki is that if you unlock a palette for one piece, it will unlock it for all the rest of the pieces, which is good to know. So we have these more little pinks. You can see it doesn't dye as nice as the other ones. Of course it dyes nicely in white, but of course there's going to be a lot of blue hues in that as well. And how do these dye to black? Not kind of the same as the other ones, but just a lot more blue. It's interesting. They're not my favorite, but that was the glow up outfit, the evolution outfit. And then of course we have our glow up. Here is our glow up. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we have our glow up on correctly. Yes, here's our glow up. As you can see, I have some of the pieces kind of dyed already. But we can take a look at this hair. It's kind of a really ugly color, to be honest. It's like very poopy. But you can go ahead and dye the hair different colors, of course. It dyes actually pretty nicely into some more natural colors, which is nice because like that like poopy color is not that fun. Here's how it looks in some reds. And again, to get the glow up, you will have to get the full first outfit and then, you know, whatever glow up requirements there are, you'll have to get blings and the shiny bubbles and stuff. But you will unlock all these pieces instantly once you do that. Here's what it looks like. It goes black, which is nice. You can get the hair in black. So that's what the dyes look like. Honestly, all nicer than how the actual thing looks. And here's the dress. The glow up dress. It doesn't dye nicely because these green things are gonna stick here. So you have to remember that the green glow will be in like pretty much any kind of dye that you do. I feel like the glow up dye is pretty much the worst out of all of the sets. So I feel like, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I don't think this glow up is worth it. Obviously, if you're doing it for the score and stuff, yeah, just glow it up if you need like an elegant outfit. But I feel like we all have elegant outfits that are perfectly fine than this one if you need it. So the wings, honestly, are not anything special in my opinion. Like you have a whole lot of options, but they don't really change that much. I feel like they do kind of blue really nicely, which is interesting. All of the wings have these little blue crystals in them, which is really annoying because you're not fully able to get these other colors in there with like in a nice way without there just being a lot of blue. But yeah, you get an additional pair of wings, but these ones kind of don't dye the best. I feel like they dye kind of similar to how the evolution dyes. Of course, we go white very nicely. Because I think the glow up has effects that are white, which can match better with other outfits, which makes sense. And of course, these will go black as well. I think these actually go black, kind of like the best out of all the ones we've seen. But you do have those little white effects as well, kind of hanging around. Yeah, you know, the wings are never going to dye nice because it's a really hard material to understand, and it's like iridescent, and there's colors, and there's shadows, and there's all of this other different stuff. That's really funny, and it just doesn't dye perfectly. But that was the glow up. All dyed, and now I can go ahead and show some of the fairy sets that I have created. Just with these outfits as well. So I've done a water fairy look, which is so cute. I love this outfit. It's so water fairy to me. It's kind of exactly what I was imagining when I was going ahead and looking at the set. So for hair, I'm using the Twirling Dawn hair, and I have it dyed in kind of like this blue color. It's really, really pretty. And for dress, I have the, which dress do I have on? The Sparkling Waves dress, but I don't, are we sure that that's the dress that I have? Yes, I have it in, yes, I'm using the Sparkling Waves dress from the most recent 4-star banner, and I have it dyed in kind of a custom scheme, which I can show you, I guess, right here. Yeah, so this is kind of what I've done with the areas. So that's what I have for the dress. It's so pretty with the wings. This is just so pretty to me. It looks really pretty in all the different lightings as well. It looks pretty at night, like a little like nighttime little water fairy. She's really pretty. Like her during the daytime though. And then for socks, I have these Against the Wind socks, but I have them dyed in like a way that you're able to kind of get like a skin tone. These Against the Wind socks. I'm not 100% sure where these socks are from, but they're from somewhere. And then we have our little 5-star shoes. I have the gold leaf shoes from the Wishful Arosa set. I have them again dyed in like a little blue, light blue color scheme to fit and match with the set. And for accessories, I have the Kiss of the Waves from the Waves set, kind of just default added to the little hair set. And I've added the the earrings, like the mermaid earrings from the Snowy Tide set. And I've add that to the set as well. And then I did some dyes on it with like the light blues as well. And of course I have the necklace from, I think this is Windborn Gift Necklace. This is from Enchanted Encounter. So this is from our most recent 5-star set. And I just have it dyed, of course. And then I have these bracelets that are from the Graceful Elegance set, which I have no idea what Graceful Elegance is. I don't really even know. Is that one of the store sets? And then I of course have the wings dyed in a light blue color, and they look gorgeous. And they're the wings from the Snow Crest. So I think these are the the evolution wings. So that was one of the first looks that I created, which is my water fairy look, which I'm using currently as a floating outfit. I don't know why I'm using it as a floating outfit, because like it would be like a water fairy, but I just like seeing her float. She's really cute. And then we have our Twisted Cupid look, and this is my I love this look. I wanted to utilize the 3-star dress from one of the store sets that we had a long time ago, and kind of do like a Cupid kind of, you know what I mean. I originally always wanted to do this kind of an outfit with the wings that we got from the Phoenix set, but those wings kind of suck and they just like sit downwards and they're not like the best. But I've used some pieces from a few different sets here. So this is the fluffy style hair from the 4-star banner. And I have it paired with, of course, the Pure Wings dress from the 3-star set. I have the Pure Elegance socks on, these little tiny socks. I have the Tap Tap Rhythm shoes. These are from the Timeless Melody set. I have them dyed in red. And then I have the Moonlit Remembrance hat from Timeless Melody, dyed in red and white. And I have earrings from, I'm pretty sure these are just the sparkling hearts from the set. The necklace is from the set as well, the Gentle Whisper. I have the Monsoon Messenger these are from like one of the base game outfits, but I thought they actually like worked really well and I added some little red cuffs to them. And of course I have the little eye patch from the shop set just added on here as an eyepiece. And then for the wings, I just have the base outfit wings, but I just have them dyed in a white color. I just felt like the white was really cute and very like Cupid. Cupid has like white wings. And she has her little healing magics, you know, thermometer in her hand from the set. So that was my little Twisted Cupid look that I made. These are all just like things I've made. And here's kind of the makeup that she has on. She has on shadowed feathers for the base. She has graceful shadow eyebrows, shining daylight eyelashes, crystal gaze contacts, and the rose and blossom lips. So next we have our last one, which I call my little battle fairy look. I don't know why, but this outfit is like so fun to me. This is currently my just like roaming around outfit. I just find it to be really cute. I did a lot of weird things with this outfit. For just to start, we have just the shimmering light hair from the most recent 4-star, and we have the little butterfly, the little coat from the butterfly set. I have it on, and I have it over top this light sleeves. I think this was from the most recent Sea of Stars shop, the Starlit shop, and I have it paired with this like base game skirt, but I have it dyed like with one of the custom little dyes from the store, and then I just had it like, I dyed it dark green and just added the pattern over top, which was really fun. I have these gradient sky socks just dyed a little bit, and then I think they just recently made it so you could dye the police officer shoes, so I added those and dyed them in a green color, of course, to match the rest of the set. And for accessories, we of course have wings on, but we do have this little hat from that Kilo set, and I did dye it a little bit to tie in some purples. And we have the necklace, Voice of Courage. I just had this, I just added that to the set. And then I added the Retouching of the Past little gloves. These I think are from the mermaid set. I added them because I felt like they fit really nicely here. And of course she has the base wings, the base set wings with, I dyed them in like a green color, as you can see right here. But that was my 3 little looks that I made so far, just getting inspired to make some like different little fairy outfits. I think that these fairy outfits are so cute. I've been just running around in like this little battle fairy outfit. I just think it's so, so, so adorable. It's just so cute. Like, oh, she just looks so cute. That's the Momo cloak right there. Something I wanted to see really quick is, did we get photo poses? Did we get an outfit pose for this? Yes, we did. We got this Fairy Whisper outfit pose. So this is kind of what this pose looks like. If you were wondering, it is pink, so you can't change it. I actually think it's a really cute pose. And it might look really cute with my like Twisted Cupid outfit. But it is to note that you can only do that. It's interesting how we got so many poses for the other set. Also, something to note that's actually really fun is our Feather Harmony set looks really fun with the wings, because as you can see, she will begin flying at some point with this pose. Or maybe it's not this one, maybe it's Thorny Path. Let's see. There we go. Yes. So as you can see with the outfit poses from the most recent one, she will just fly, which is really fun. Like now she's just flying. And of course for photos, it'll like make it appear as though she's flying because of her wings, but she's just flying because of the photo pose. And of course you can like, you know, you can position Nikki how you want to, and you can, you know, zoom out, zoom in, but it's really cool to see Nikki flying for a photo. I did a photo, actually, I can show you in my little photo journal, but I did some photos with my water fairy look, and this is over water, so I had her do the outfit pose, and then I just positioned her over top of the water, so it looks like she's, you know, flying around the water, which is really fun. And she is flying. She's in the air. She is airborne in this photo. So, something to note, of course, obviously, if you did not get any of these outfit poses from the most recent one, you know, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because I don't really understand how else she's supposed to float. She, of course, can do some poses from Timeless Melody. It's kind of funny how, like, the wings, did you see the wings kind of move? Did you see them turn? Like the key on her back, like the wings were turning. But this is how it looks with some of the other little poses from the other sets. I actually think this looks really cool. That looks really magical. Kind of looks really fun with my battle fairy like outfit because she's kind of a battler. But this is what these look like. Of course, we have the Snowy Ballad set. And, like dance. This is like the sad Snowy Ballad. And here's the other one, Fingertip of Snow. Again, if like I wanted to do like an ice fairy, this one would be really cool to do. Like even my water fairy doing these poses would be really fun because of course I have like a little, you know, it's like a little fish. I think this is so cool. But I could have my water fairy doing like a pose like this. But yeah, you can always just have this base pose. And of course, I think you unlock more as you go. Did I unlock any more that I just didn't claim because I was not in the courses section? Let me just go ahead and check that really quick. Because I feel like we didn't get as many poses as I'm used to. Let's see. Compendium, outfit compendium. Playful season. Let's see. Limited time outfits. Yeah, I feel like we didn't get a lot of poses compared to like the other sets. Of course, we have the makeup as well. But yeah, I feel like that was a detailed breakdown of the set. Like, let me know down below, like, what do you guys think of the new set? How are you feeling about it? Are you liking it? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? I'm liking it a lot, of course, because I love fairies. But like, oh, watch this. So now my floating pose is my new water fairy pose, my new water fairy outfit. Also, I did notice, makeup now changes. So like, as you can see, I don't know if this is a bug, but this is the makeup I chose for my battle fairy look, and then when I switch to my floating outfit, it changes to my water fairy makeup. I don't know how that kind of worked out, if that's a bug or something, because it doesn't do it for Timeless Melody. It just kind of switches me to whatever makeup I had for my default outfit, but still really cute. And then of course there's Momo and his little cloak, which is not dyeable, but I think that would be really cool if you could dye Momo's cloak. But again, like, what are they gonna add another custom currency? It's like everything is expensive in Nikki. But yeah, that was everything for this set. Again, I'm so excited to kind of continue to play around and create more fairy outfits, because I do like fairy and dolly outfits. So like, you know, you can see like this is kind of like my other little doll outfits that I have. And then of course we have our new little fairy outfits that we have, which are really cute. I just love these fairy outfits so much. And I'm going to work on doing some ability outfits as well for another video. So let me know if you down below if you enjoyed this video and if you are going to be pulling on this banner, because I know I surely did. Obviously, it's kind of weird now that I'm noticing like pulling on like other 5-star banners and these poses do kind of like change the outfit. Like if I didn't have the poses from the Phoenix set, I feel like this set would kind of not resonate as much because she's not able to fly. There's really no posing for flying. Obviously you have that book piece that we went over in the last video, but I don't really like that piece at all. Like I can put that down really quick before we go. Just throw this down, but I'm not really a huge fan of this piece. I don't know. It just doesn't really do it for me. Like she just kind of goes into it like this, and it's like, someone said bookie, like a book hussy, like a book hussy. And I was like, that's honestly what it's giving. It's giving book hussy. Like, Just Nikki hanging out outside of the book cozy. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know down below. I overall think that this set, again, if you want wings, get the set. If you want wings that are a little bit nicer than the Blooming Dreams wings, I wish I had those to compare it to, but I do not have those on my account. But I will have those on my account in the next patch, so stay tuned because I will be getting those wings as well. But thank you guys so much again for watching. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way to the final evolution. I haven't decided. Um, I still have some pulls. I still have time in this 5-star. We have 22 days. You know, I have not bought anything from the shop yet or topped up. So, you know, we could always make it happen. But as of now, I haven't really had any thoughts about it. But I did 180 pulls. I got the full outfit in 160. So it's just a 10 outfit set. And I need a whole lot more to complete the final evolution. But thank you guys again so much for watching. And until next time, bye everybody!